Hello, everybody. Hello. Hi. Welcome. It is the end of June, and that means that soon it'll be July, and like we have been doing, that means we're going to make a vlog. I challenged myself earlier on in the year to see if I could do one at the end of every single month, and here we are for June. Now, June is the beginning of when things really get busy, and July usually ramps it up. And I don't think this year is going to be any different. But let's talk about June before we get on to July. So what happened in June? Man, forget you, June. You tried, and you gave us some good stuff, but overall, June was a tough one. June was a real tough month. And not just for me, but for like a lot of people that I know. People I'm close to, people I'm not close to. There's been a lot of stuff that happened in June that I just feel like really drained my batteries. So let's talk about those. That'll be fun, right? Sure. So, I mean, I think it's important as we move from month to month that we recognize both the new and the exciting and the fun, and then also like the challenging horseshit that makes up our lives. As a person that struggles with a handful of mental health things, I find it personally useful to abate and ameliorate those things by recognizing, yes, bad things, frustrating things, difficult things happen, but good things happen too. You'll remember from the last video, I was looking forward to going to New York in June. We had this big New York plan. Blue Jay and I were gonna fly over there and hang out with some people and do some things, but sometimes life throws you a curveball and there are more important, more difficult tasks to attend to. So instead of going to New York, we stayed here in the Pacific Northwest to spend the last couple of days with Bella. Bella is Blue Jay's dog. If you have watched any of Blue Jay's content or spent time on her channel, you know how much Bella meant to Blue Jay and what a great little dog she is. And it's really, really sad and hard and frustrating when something we love is gone, when it goes away, and those are the times where we need support the most. That was sort of the big emotional thing for this month. It's a tricky thing. I personally can't help but feel whenever I'm in that position, whether it's somebody I care about moving away, or it's losing a pet, or God forbid losing a friend or a family member, there's this feeling of like, well, what did I expect? What did I expect? Like, you love something, inevitably entropy kicks in and that thing is gone from your life if you don't beat it to the finish line first. And I always struggle with that. That's a feeling I always feel. Instead, I think of like disappointment. My brain is just like, well, this is what happens when you love stuff. It goes away, so get over it. But it's still really fucking sad. So that happened. And you know, it's not a one moment and then it's different kind of situation. Grieving is like a long and sometimes arduous journey. And I know that this is something that Blue Jay, and if I'm going to be honest, like me, like we're still going through. So if you have nice things to say to Blue Jay, please do so, because this is a time in which, you know, people need a little extra attention. So that was really hard in June. I feel like right now everybody I know is like getting sick or having a hard time, and it's really taxing. It's really, really taxing for someone who like just wants everybody to be okay. I play a curmudgeonly grump on the internet, but honestly, like I just care so much about the people around me, and I just want everybody to be okay. And so I do work to help them with that, and that can be really tiring. I'm thinking about this particularly because I feel like for some reason in the last 4 weeks, and maybe I'm just being really sensitive, but for some reason in the last 4 weeks, the internet has just been this like horrible, sucking chest wound of negative people being mean to me. And not just mean in general, but like straight up like dicks to me, which is hard. You know, when you do work, and I'm like a little angry about it, but I'm also like just tired and kind of sad. And what's so good about being in the position that I'm in and feeling, at least to some degree, connected to a much larger community of people, whether that's the Math Squad, or that's roleplay, or that's just something broader like the queer community on the internet, or the D&D role-playing game community on the internet, I can reach out and I can complain about this shit and people will be like, yo, Adam, thank you for doing your hard work. And all of that is not to say that that's what I'm here to do. I'm not like, hey, make me feel better, please. please. Come on. I'm trying to just sort of express that, like, yeah, yo, things are hard, and that's okay. We don't want them to be, but sometimes they just are. And you move on with your life. So instead, speaking of moving on, instead of going to New York, we drove from Seattle to Portland, which is like a 5-hour drive if you go the long way like we did. We drove down the Oregon coast, and I got to do my other favorite thing in the universe, and that's take pictures. We were only in Portland for like a day, but we stopped at a bunch of places on the way, and I got to use both of my new cameras, my Contax and my Leica M6, and I got a whole bunch of film developed. I'm in like a weird film phase. And then when I got home at the end of the month, I did a stream. We did a Lightroom stream, and I did that on the front page as part of Twitch's Pride celebration, which I'm divided on because I feel like corporate Pride celebrations feel like a weird thing. It's a whole complicated thing with like Pride as a brand instead of Pride as like the thing that people feel when they're like engaging in queer community stuff. But it was cool to be able to do that. I like being a person that people can look at on the screen and say, hey, that's Adam. He's not afraid to be queer in a public space, even if it means people are going to be dicks to him. And that is something that I feel like I can do. Hopefully I have helped you feel better about that maybe. Maybe you're one of those people that has emailed me and said, hey Adam, it's cool that you're queer on the internet and in an open way. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to do that. Honestly, that's the feeling that I'm feeling right now. Because I was thinking too, in June, another thing that we did that I really liked, this is the second time we've done it, is I did a live stream called Trailer Time, which came from being bored of a video game and watching movie trailers for 3 hours the first time, just kind of as a like, I guess I could just do this. And then we did it again, and it was just as fun. We spent 3 hours watching movie trailers and talking about the cinema, which you know I like. And I wanted to just sort of say thank you and express my excitement at the fact that our community and Twitch in general as a platform is somewhere that we can hang out and I can share whatever bullshit I'm into, role-playing games, spreadsheet action with space, photography, movies, whatever. There's a space where we can hang out and talk about that and engage that stuff. And that, for me, is therapeutic. That's the thing that makes me feel better about all the other bullshit. E3 was also in June, and that was super fun. We did a whole day of streams, plus a couple of other streams here and there. I did a 1.5 hour long analysis, frame by frame, of the Cyberpunk 2077 trailer, which I thought was super cool, and obviously you did too. It's one of my most popular videos on YouTube. And then, nearish the end of the month, I got to sit down with Matt Colville, who you probably know from the D&D sphere on the internet, and just not interview like the Kevin Crawford interview, and not like a discussion of a particular game like we did with Zweihander. This was just like me and Matt getting a chance to sit down for a couple of hours with you present and just sort of shoot the shit. It was incredibly comfortable, and thank you, Matt, for being on the channel and for recording that video with me, but mainly for just being like a cool dude to hang out with. And as you get older, in my experience, you meet less and less people, and I have found, at least, that I am less and less flexible around the kinds of people that I want to spend time with. So as a result, you spend time with less and less people, you get more and more picky until you die alone and curmudgeonly with no friends. But hopefully that's not the future that I am looking at because of people like Matt Colville, where you'll meet somebody as part of a promotional stream for a company who makes a product you both kind of like, and then you're like, wait a second, this person's kind of cool. And then the internet is like, yeah, you should both be friends. And then you talk to them and you get to do things like that. So Matt, personally, internet, for introducing me to Matt, thank you, everybody. That was great. Highlight of the month. One of the highlights of the month. There were some other good things that happened. Nope, that was it. Okay, that was all the good stuff. One thing that I completed in June that I wanted to mention, because it will open up some space, we've been talking about Womb of Night a bunch. Now, that's not the thing. I didn't finish it. It's not done. You'd have it. Womb of Night is my Kickstarter stretch goal thing for John Harper's Blades in the Dark. It's a homage to stoner rock and psychedelia, to the heavy metal magazine, and I guess the movie. Ugh, it's terrible, don't watch it. And just like magic swords and wizards flying on pterodactyls and galactic bong rips. It's gonna be great. I'm super excited about it. And I finally have time to work on it again. I just finished a big paid project, and that writing time that I was using for that project is now opened up for my Blades hack. So keep an eye out for that. I also saw that Scum and Villainy was released, like finished released this month. So if you're into Blades, check that out. And also, Band of Blades is in kind of public playtesting. So lots of good RPG shit going on. Good stuff, role-playing games. So what's happening in July? I get to start July with my favorite con. My favorite con? Is it my favorite? Yeah, I think so. It's my favorite game-related convention where I don't play any games. So Go Play Northwest is happening. You'll get a whole dedicated video for that, probably, unless it's too hot and I'm lazy and a bad content creator. I'm gonna try to do that. So I'll drag all my gear down there. I'll make a video. We did one last year. Elf is gonna be there. Blue Jay is gonna be there. A ton of Math Squad folks. I'm gonna try to do some little interviews and chats with people and some games. And there's been some rumors. That Tony Dowler and Eric Voulgaris have been working on putting together some streaming apparati. So maybe I'll run a game from GoPlay. That's happening the end of the first week of July, so you're gonna know real quick if that's gonna happen. The rest of July is mercifully kind of quiet. I'm hoping that we can get to do 4 Court of Swords episodes and 4 Far Verona episodes. We've got a couple more lore streams I'd like to do in Far Veronaverse. I wanna do another prep stream for Court of Swords, because that's going through like a really good arc right now. We're gonna be at 100 episodes so soon for Court of Swords. I just released the 23rd roleplay zine. That's almost 2 years. 2 years of monthly roleplay zine. This is like a thing. This is real. This whole like making tabletop RPG content on the internet thing. It's not like it's happening. That's so weird. Lots more episodes of shows. I want to talk for a second about Roll20 Presents because we're in a bit of an uncomfortable space with Roll20 Presents, and I want to try to be like transparent about it with you because I know you're fans of Tomb of Annihilation and Burning Wheel, both of those shows, and I want to kind of talk to you about it. So Andrew, who plays Agatha and Little Fox in those 2 shows, Andrew is really sick, and the details of that sickness are Andrew's to tell, not mine. So if you want to know more about that and hopefully offer them some condolences on feeling sick and some encouragement to get better, and honestly just like some support, go over to their Twitter. It's @CommutingCrow on Twitter. Support them, please. They're a dear friend of mine. I'm doing what I can, and that includes encouraging you to go and say nice things. But they're really sick, and they said, you know, I can't do the show. I can't do that right now, so I need you to carry on without me for now. Now, of course, obviously, I want to continue these shows. Tomb will continue as best we can onward to the end of the adventure. We're going to try and get somebody new to come in and fill that 4th slot because D&D doesn't really work as well with 3 players, as we've learned. So we're going to try to ask somebody to fill that slot for us until the end of Tomb. Hopefully by the time we're finished Tomb, Andrew will be feeling better and be able to come back in. Now, bad news for Burning Wheel is that it is going to be on essentially permanent hiatus, barring Andrew's return to Roll20 Presents. So the reason for this is that, as you know, if you've watched Burning Wheel, it's an incredibly character-driven show, and there's just no way for us to do justice to Agatha as a character by removing her from play. All the other characters are tied up in her, and this is a thing that Burning Wheel works best with groups of interconnected characters, even if they're all off screen from each other most of the time. It breaks my heart to say that it's on hiatus, but it is. And when I say hiatus, what I mean is we are stopping the game. There'll be no new episodes until Andrew is able to return, at which point it is very much my intent to bring the show back, and at the very least continue to the end of what I see as being the arc, the end of this series of Burning Wheel. I would love to be able to finish it, but it's more important to me that we do it justice and we treat Andrew's role in the show very seriously. I'm sorry that you're going to miss that, but we are going to work on finding another show, casting and building another show to play in its stead. We're looking for something that's different from Burning Wheel, something we can do on a limited run basis. So if you have suggestions of folks that you think would be cool to see do a show, or if you have a game that you would like to see, unfortunately this means Zweihander is off the table for right now. We're looking at some other options. I don't want to name them because I don't want to get everybody's hopes up, but we're looking at some other games, and if you have a game that you would like to see me run for Roll20 Presents, please let me know. So that's where we're at with Roll20 Presents. We'll do as much of that stuff as we can in July. I have another project that I'm likely to be doing in July, but it's a little bit A lot. It's a lot of work. It may take me out of Vancouver like 5 times in July. I may be doing a lot of flying in July. There may be a studio involved. I don't really know any of the details yet. I can't really tell you. I hope that I know soon. This will be end of July, part of August, as we go into Gen Con, and I'll let you know about all that stuff as it comes up. Is there anything else in July? God, I hope not. I want July to be a calm month. I want in July everyone to just be cool to each other, but especially to me, and I would like to just get through it without feeling like I'm underwater at all, you know? Not that I think that it's going to be that way, but that's my hope for July, that it's a calm month full of lots of opportunities to play games and share cool things with you and take pictures and hang out with my friends. I would really like that. And drink bubble tea and read books. Doesn't seem like too much to ask. And I hope that for you too. I hope that your July is nice and summery and you get to do some fun shit and that you take a vacation from whatever stuff is stressing you out. With that said, I'm gonna go and edit some YouTube comments. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not. I'm gonna make dinner. Food is good for you.